Welcome to Power Monday. We demystify the fact that Mondays are boring days. And yesterday was Mother's Day. And I want to applaud all the mothers in the house, whether spiritual, whether biological, the ones that stepped up. And all the mothers that are in heaven. Yesterday, my spiritual authority made fun of motherhood when she said that even the too young to girls, like my little girl, needs to celebrate motherhood because in essence, she's born with her eggs intact. So she is a mother. Yeah. So today I'm doing a poem titled Mama. Mama. To some extent, I love being vulnerable and sharing my stories. My mama had me when she was 17. She never talks about it, but I try to imagine that at 17, I was packing my bags to go to the university as a first year. But to her, she was in Form 3, trying to get me and trying to nurse a baby back in the village. And I applaud her for that. It is not something that is surprising, especially in the village, but in the city, some things happen. So Mama, you see, Mama, you work from day to night, even when things are not right. You've held me so close, so tight, Mommy. Sometimes your hands are tired and your back is sore, but still you smile and you do so much more. Mama, your love is strong to the core. We have no gold, maybe we didn't have no such fine big house, but Mommy, you were brave. You have made us see that the world is a rich place to be, Mommy. Sometimes you had to skip a meal for me first. Sometimes you've given me water when I am thirsty. You have made me feel that I am first, Mommy. When storms have come and my hope has felt so small, you have stood so tall and you have held it all, Mommy. Because you know, with your spirit, I never fail. I have seen you cry. I think I have. Your voice, Mommy, it is so soft, but it is so full of might. You have taught me what is wrong and what is right. You have kept me warm through seasons that I didn't feel like warmth is what I deserved. You have made my dreams a song and you have said, baby, the world is your oyster. You have protected me. You have made me know that I will always be right in your eyes. And behind the curtains, you correct me, Mommy. So here to you, Mama. Here to you, every lady in the house. I celebrate you. You are strong. Let no one bring you down. You are so loved, Mama. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lucita. We bless the Lord for mothers. Like, they are the most important people in our lives. And I also celebrate my mom in heaven. First Mother's Day without her mom, but it is well. Odiambo Olale, kindly introduce the speaker of the day.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you all? For those who are in Nairobi,
fantastic.
I know I'm greeting you about the rain this month, last night. I know that people are struggling to get to the office, but hope we are all well. And we want to introduce the speaker for this morning. Yeah, our speaker for this morning is Mr. David Pollock, also known as Daudi Kamau. In Kenya, he has been in Kenya since January of 2020. In other words, for almost 5 years. Currently, he is representing Christian Business Angels, a Dutch group, as the resident angel here in Kenya. David has nearly 50 years of business experience, primarily in technology, finance, and logistics. He has successfully started a business from scratch, growing it from zero to $13 million in the first year, and managed an early stage company generating $50 million per year. He has also held senior leadership positions for the federal government and the United States Navy. So with that short introduction, may I welcome our speaker, David Pollock. Karibu sana, and feel free to share your experience, your thoughts, and even your fears. Thank you very much.
Nashukuru. Thank you, Odhiambo. Well, I'm going to pull up my PowerPoint slide because we all like PowerPoint slides, I'm sure, to make sure I can share this. And I'll make sure that everybody can see it. Bear with me just a moment, please. All right, I think I'm... Can everybody tell me if they see the slide deck?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. I always like it when technology works. And Dr. Lucy, I do want to appreciate you and that poem you shared. That was really maybe one of the best Mother's Day poems I've ever heard. Very, very well done. So I was asked to share about understanding the investor's mindset. And let me see, I got to make sure that this slideshow from the beginning, next page, there we go. As noted, I've been in Kenya about 5 years. In the beginning, I was living in Nakuru, and I was writing a business development curriculum that I was teaching in some Bible schools, predominantly in Nyahururu, Mombasa, here in Nairobi, also in Zambia, in Ndola and Lusaka, and in Rwanda, in Kigali and Musanze. During that time, I helped half a dozen startups, and I lost most of that money in that effort. So I learned a lot of things, though. And now I'm helping early stage entrepreneurs with this group that we mentioned, Christian Business Angels. And what we mean by early stage entrepreneurs is that they are businesses that have been in business for 3-4 years. They're generating 2 to 3 million shillings in revenue per year. And in our case, we're looking for there to be 3, 4, or 5 employees at least in the business, to include the founder, who is very active. This year alone, we have invested 12 million shillings and currently have the ability, or the what looks like the potential, to invest another 25 million shillings in just the next 6 months with the businesses that we are looking at. So what we as investors want to know, first, is there an opportunity to help? And often, especially for early stage entrepreneurs, they have difficulty in accessing other financing opportunities. They can't probably go to the bank. And oftentimes, because they are an early stage business, a lot of their structure that a bank and even other angel investors might be looking for, they don't have those structures in place yet. You know, they've basically figured out who their customer is, but you know, again, they're still growing, they're still maturing. So we want to know, is there an opportunity for us to help? We want to know, does the business idea seem reasonable? And does it have the potential to grow? And we do like to get our money back. And the reason I say that is we are looking to basically help businesses grow. Obviously, we are able to contribute money into the investment pool every year, but as well as those entrepreneurs pay money back to us, that gives us money then to pour back out into other investment opportunities as well. So it's a joint effort between the entrepreneurs and us to continue to help others. Another thing that we want to know is, can this person or these persons be trusted? Are they people of integrity? I think we all know that there are challenges with having people say one thing and then do another. So can we trust those folks? Are they people of integrity? And are they believable? And I'll get a little more into that idea of, are they believable, in the next slides. So my key points to you, because again, I'm supposed to tell you, what do I want you to know? And the two things I want you to know is, know your audience. I'm going to make a Mzungu statement here, so I apologize. As you probably know, so let's think about even what Mzungu means, at least how I've had it explained to me. It actually means somebody who whirls about, or, seems to be spinning about with a lot of energy. And so, Mzungu, they're just like pop, 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 fast, fast, fast. And I don't know if that's good or bad, and I'm not making a judgment call that one is better than the other. It's just an issue of, how do people act? How do they respond? And if you think about how Kenyans often like to share information, there's a whole story, and they want to tell the story. And we're going to get to this in a minute, but I'm sure you all have heard about, what is your elevator pitch for your business? And the idea of an elevator pitch is, I can tell my story very quickly. And I've listened now to many, many people share their elevator pitch, and they seem to have only one story. And if I tell them you have 1 minute or 2 minutes, they still start their story at the beginning, and then they are surprised when I tell them to stop because their time is up. Because, and again, somebody else mentioned here, Otieno and I were talking about honoring time and keeping time, and another person said, I like to be early because I like to honor time. I want you to think about, when presenting your information, you need to know, how much time do you have to share your story, and how does the person or the people or the audience that you are talking to, how do they like to receive information? The second point is that you need to know your business. When I think about that, if you remember, as an investor, I want to know, am I going to get my money back? You need to know what your money doing in your business. You know what your cash flow looks like. You need to know how many dollars or shillings are coming in and out on a weekly and daily basis. How much cash do you need to make certain things happen? You need to know that information, because you need to share that with me, because I don't know your business. So you're helping me to understand, this is what my business looks like in shillings. So I want to point something out to you, and this is actually a book. It's called The Culture Map. You can go find it out online. And what I'm showing you here is my profile as compared to an average Kenyan. And what I'm trying to point out to you is, again, how important it is to know your audience. And I want you to see here, the very first thing that's on the screen is about communicating. And you'll see where the green lines are, and you see where the orange lines are. And what it shows is that Westerners and David are low context communicators. Kenyans and Africans in general are high context communicators. And just very briefly, what that means is, if you tell me yes, I think it means yes. If you tell me no, I think it means no. If you tell me Friday at 2 o'clock, I think that means Friday at 2. If a Kenyan, more context in that. As an example, I went to a business meeting over, the start time was published as 7:30 and the finish time published as 11:30. The start time really happened at 8:25 because people were still setting things up at 7:30 when I arrived. And when I left at 12:40, because I had another meeting to go to at 1 o'clock, things were still going strong in the meeting. And when I reached out to the organizer later, just to comment to them, thank you for the meeting, they said, "Ah, I noticed that you left early." And I smiled. And again, I see Otieno is smiling as well. So again, what do you mean? Again, different cultures communicate differently. And again, none of this is right. None of this is wrong. This is about knowing your customer. And just like in your business, you need to know who your customer is. If in this case, I'm an investor and you're selling me the idea of your business, you need to know how I like to be communicated with. The other things are down there as well. The communication point was the one that I really wanted to stress here, because when you're talking about the investor mindset, the whole idea is, how successfully can you communicate to me and to other investors what you want to communicate so that they say yes, because I'm assuming that's the objective. You need to know how to communicate and to whom you are communicating. I also said, hey, you need to know your business. And you can see here on the screen, what is your product? The biggest question I always ask is, what problem are you solving and for who? I think this is a good comparison. Again, lived in Nakuru for 3.5 years, and I had a street hawker who would see me very often. His name was Moses. Moses would always wear 10 ties, and he would have 10 hats on the top of his head, and he's walking down the street. And, and he'd see me like once a week in town. And every week he would come up to me and say, hey, will you buy something from me? And I actually tried to share with him the business concepts that I'm sharing with you here. And finally I said, Moses, why should I support you? Why should I buy something from you? And he said, well, I have school fees, and you need to give me money so that I can pay my school fees. And I argue to you, your business is about solving the problem for other people, and you get money by solving those people's problems. If you're not solving somebody's problem, you don't have a business. So know what problem you're solving, know who you're solving it for, and what that means is, Who has money in their pocket to give to you now? You have to answer those things. So, who are the markets you're serving? What industry are you in? How big is it? What's the potential? Again, you need to know, and you need to communicate to me, the investor, these are the people that I'm selling to. This is how much money I get from each customer, and this is why they have asked me to solve their problem. At the very beginning, I pointed out to you that I helped start half a dozen startups. But now I've shifted to early stage. And what that means to me, or why that's important to me, is early or startups, those are the people who say, I have an idea, please give me money and I'm going to go do this amazing thing. What I have learned, and what many others have learned as well, is one, that's a very hard position, and two, a lot of people really have not figured out who their customer is. They just think that if you give me $1,000, $2,000, I'm going to go raise chickens, do a car wash, start a kinyozi, do a beauty salon, and customers will just come to them because they have a business. It just doesn't work that way. You have to know who your market is. And so one of the reasons that I've shifted and joined Christian Business Angels is because, again, we're dealing now with businesses who have gotten past that first stage. They've figured out who their customers are. And one of the things that an investor likes to see is that you, the business entrepreneur, went through the struggle of figuring out who your customer was, and your friends and your family believed in you and helped get you through that very early stage. And that's also another way that we then determine that you are a person of integrity if your friends and family were able to support you and believed in you enough. That's also an indicator for us that you might be someone that we could also assist. The numbers. Everybody loves numbers. I'm sure that every one of you here loved math in school. It was your favorite subject. And even today, you have a budget. You tithe 10% of your gross income, and you give offerings of another 10%, and you never struggle with school fees because you know exactly where all of your shillings are going. You have a plan for them, and the black tax does not beat you because somebody surprises you. You know where all of your money is going, because I know that's what we all do. Similarly, for a business, you need to know where your money is going. We want to see, when we look at your business, we want to look at your P&L, which stands for profit and loss. We want to look at your profit and loss for the last 2 to 3 years. That gives us a picture of what you have been doing with your money. Your money tells a story. You can tell us words all day long, but your M-Pesa statement, your bank statement, Zoho, all of those things, they tell us a much clearer picture. And so we're going to be looking for what has happened with your money. The second thing is next year, post-investment. As a business group, we, Christian Business Angels, target investing $10,000 to $50,000 USD into an early stage business. We want to know what are you going to do with that money? So not only do we want to see the last 2 or 3 years of what happened with your money, but once we give you money, where is it getting invested, and how is it going to help your business grow? And as well, how many new jobs is your business going to create? Because for us, Christian Business Angels, one of our primary objectives is to increase the number of people who are employed. One of the things we're trying to do is help people have jobs and to do business, and to do business in a kingdom manner or fashion. Lastly, we want to see your balance sheet. Again, that tells us any strengths and weaknesses in your business. We're going to even ask, do you have audited financials from an accountant? So even when you're growing, you need to start thinking about how are you going to grow to the next level, and you need to start putting structures in place. Other things that we as Christian Business Angels want to know is, who's behind your company? You know, who are you? What kind of support or resources do you have? And so let's think about that for a second. You're a business owner. You had a great idea. Maybe your skill is marketing. You really do a good job of going and talking to people. You do a really good job of networking, and you do a really good job of the actual service that you deliver. But maybe keeping the numbers is not the thing that you do well. As you are starting to grow, maybe you're not the one who can say, oh, I know what other people I want to hire, and I want to hire other people. Maybe you do things really well, but you're not a good trainer. All of us cannot be good at everything. And it's important for us to recognize what we are good at and what we're not good at. So we as investors also want to know, what are you good at? What are you not good at? And so for those things that you're not necessarily strong in, what's the team that you've put together to go to the next step? If you're still just a one-person shop after 2 or 3 years, we think that your growth potential is limited because you have not started to help expand by sharing the load with others. I think we can all think about a lot of scriptural examples of where as a body that we can do things bigger and better versus all by ourselves. And I think it's a Kenyan proverb that says, if I want to go fast, I go alone, but if I want to go far, I go with others. So what team are you building to take your business and to let it go far? We want to know, who's the competition? What have they accomplished? And how can you prove these things? And always, what makes you better? Why are you better than the competition? Or why are you different? I mean, think about it. How many kinyozis are there in any particular town or neighborhood? How many taxi drivers are there? How many Uber drivers are there? Why do you go to the kinyozi that you go to? Why do you go get your hair cut at the place where you get your hair cut? What has made that person stand out to you? Is it because they're on time? Is it because they said, I'll bring you 10 chickens on Tuesday, and they brought you 10 chickens on Tuesday? Is it because you like Kineji chicken and they raise chickens and their chickens taste the best? think again, just think about why you have gone and continue to go to the businesses that you go to, and what makes you and or your business stand out and be different, that people will come to you. You need to be able to communicate that. We're always interested in what is your spiritual or social impact. How does it help others? What's the impact to the community? How does it glorify God? When we as Christian business angels are talking to potential investors, we want to know, okay, how are you helping the community? And as Christians, we're not saying, oh, you have to have a Bible study once a week, or you have to start your business with weekly prayers. Those are okay things. We want to know things like, are you paying your employees well? Or is it just all about you getting rich? I think the minimum wage, and again, forgive me if I'm wrong on this number, but I think the minimum wage for a full-time employee is somewhere around 18 to 20,000 shillings. If you tell us, well, I'm only paying my employees 10,000 shillings, then we're going to ask, all right, well, what would it look like if your business was paying all of your employees minimally 20,000 shillings? Could your business still survive? Or are you basically only succeeding because you're not paying your employees very well, and you're making them work 3, 4, and 5 jobs just to make ends meet? We've got one business that we're doing due diligence with right now, and they produce toilet paper. And they told us, and we didn't ask them, they just told us, we like, so what do you guys do? And they said, well, once a month, we actually go to the local prison or jail in the village or town that we are near, and we bring toilet paper, because I learned that you have to supply your own toilet paper in jail in Kenya, or your family has to bring you toilet paper. And so in this case, they visit the prisons and they minister to the prisoners in part by delivering toilet paper. I think we would all appreciate that having toilet paper is a pretty nice thing, and especially when you're in prison. That is a way that they glorify God and they impact the community. So, when you are talking to Christian business angels, but as well any particular investor group, they're going to want to know, how much will you need? Again, Christian business angels, CBA, we focus on giving 10,000 to 50,000 USD. That's our target. Just to let you know, the reason that that's our target is we feel that that is a very underserved group in the entrepreneurial cycle. There are people out there, the banks, if you need $200,000, $300,000, and you have the collateral and all of the records, they'll loan you money. There are angel investors who will say, okay, 100,000, 150,000, that's where we start. And there are many of those out there, but there are very few that will give $10,000 to $50,000. And so that's the area that we serve, and we feel that that is a way for us to represent the kingdom, because there are not many investors at that level. And so what we then do is we'll come in, help you, and we also help you get your accounting in place, your records in place. We do coaching, we do mentoring, and we help you grow, and then we can introduce you to the banks and to the other investors who will potentially come in at the next stage of your growth as a business. So we as CBA want to know, how much money do you need? $10,000 to $50,000. How will you use the money? Exactly how we'll use the money. We're not looking for it to go into your pocket. We're not looking to say, oh, well, I need 50,000 shillings to pay school fees this year. We're looking for what's going to go into your business and how it's going to generate new income for the business. Again, very specifically, we want to know, how many jobs are you going to create? We actually measure on a dollar basis. You know, like if we give you $10,000 and you say, I'm going to generate 10 new jobs with $10,000, we go, okay, $1,000 a job, understand, check. If you say, I'm going to generate 5 new jobs, that's, for in our mind, that's $2,000 a job. And we have a bit of a internal scoring of how many jobs do we get for the number of dollars that we invest in. We also want to know, do you need expertise? Are there things that you just need to mature in, need to grow in? Is there coaching that you need? Do you need networking? Do you need introductions? What does your business need? What is your request? And we'll see how we can fulfill that. But we want you to be honest and say, here's what I need. This is what I'm looking for, so that I can go to the next step. And then that helps us also understand, are you someone that we have the capacity to partner with? So I think that is the end of my presentation. And I think that leaves us about 10 minutes to do some questions and answers. And so I will now ask if there are any questions that people might have.
What you can do is you can write all your questions in the chat. Anyone who has a question, you can write them in the chat.
Thank you. Maybe
And
as
I will say, just so that I got this, let me give you all my phone number. And if you wish to send me a text, we actually have a workshop coming up Tuesday, June 3rd. I think it's the 3rd, whatever that first Tuesday in June is. We're having a workshop whereby entrepreneurs will have the opportunity to present their ideas to us and give our investors a chance to meet you. So my phone number is 0748 364 018. Again, 0748 364 018. And if anybody wants to flash me and just mention that we're on this call together, and what I'll do is I will send you the link to our website that will tell you about the next opportunity for you to present your business to a group of investors. So again, I apologize, so Otieno and or Dr. Lucita.
Okay, so there's a question from Dr. Melvin Blima, and he's asking, just a minute, he is asking, what percentage of the businesses that pitch to CBA are ready for funding?
I would say about half. Here's what we normally do. So our entryway, if you will, is our workshops. We hold 4 or 5 workshops a year. In June will be our 3rd workshop. We normally have 15 to 20 entrepreneurs in the workshop. We get to meet them. We go through the workshop day, and let's just use 15 as a number. We'll meet the 15 it's always on a Tuesday. At the end of the meeting, we all get together and we basically say, out of the 15, who would we like to go visit quickly? And normally we're able to visit 7, 8, or 9. So that's about half. And we'll go visit those 7, 8, or 9 literally on Wednesday and Thursday. If they're, somewhere within the Nairobi County area and surrounding area. And we will then ask them on that following Friday to come and do a more comprehensive presentation or pitch. And from that, we'll probably pick 4 or 5. So that means we went from 15 or 16 down to 4 or 5. So that's about a 25% selection rate. And we will then, once we've selected them, we'll go through our due diligence process, which takes about 2 months, maybe 3, because we need to look at your records. We're going to come and do another site visit. We'll do some operational assessments, and then that would give us the opportunity to make a decision. So in answer to your question, about 25% of the entrepreneurs that we see are ready for us at that time. And because we work with a group called Synapis, which you may be familiar with, Synapis is a training organization. If there are areas where we might feel, oh, we would like you to go get some training on accounting or get some training on marketing, we would then point you in the direction of talking to the Synapis folks. They might take you through the necessary training, and then you would be one of the first people that we would be interested in engaging in the next workshop. So if in particular you're not ready at the, at one particular point in time, we're happy to have you come around again after some training has occurred.
Okay, another question. How do you draw the line as a Christian organization between religion and business when vetting? How is the average loan repayment in past year? Those are 2 questions.
So, so I think I'm answering the question of how is loan repayment. And at the moment, our experience is that we are receiving back about 50% of what is owed to us. So we lose money, and obviously we're trying to be good stewards of the money that God has given us. We're trying to hold people accountable, but as well, we're also recognizing that as believers, we try to extend some grace, but we also believe that sometimes the process of going through holding people accountable to what they said they would do is part of the learning and the maturing process. But I do acknowledge that we do not receive back 100% of the money that we've loaned out, because not everybody is able to do that. Sometimes it's because they had something really bad happen. I mean, COVID is, a very good example of people who had businesses and, COVID challenged their business. Since COVID, we're hoping that people can do a little better, because the business environment, we understand, is still challenged, but it's not COVID.
Okay, so there was another question of how you draw a line between religion and business.
Mm-hmm. So I think then that question there is like, so we even loan money to Muslim companies. Our idea is, are we, so I mean, if you, and I'm using Muslim just because we have a number of Muslims, in Kenya. Are you people of integrity? Does the business owner look like a person of integrity, a person of their word? Are they going to deliver good products and services? Are they going to try and grow their community and be a good representation of godly principles in their community. So we're interested in those aspects, not what church you go to and, you know, how many times a day you pray.
There is
Okay.
a question that came earlier, David. It's about somebody who's logged in from Madagascar and wondering
Wow.
whether you people could set up the CBA in Madagascar. And just alongside that, I also wanted to ask if whenever people are giving you the 1 minute, 2 minute speech, that which they call elevator, are you interested in all these key elements, or there is a specific area that you'd like them to mention so that when you give them more time later, then they can go through the full presentation? Maybe you can mention that. Thank you.
Okay, so first, we are not currently in Madagascar. We are only in Kenya at the moment. It's our intention within the next 2 or 3 years to expand into potentially Rwanda, Uganda, Burundi, kind of going in a circle around Kenya. And Otieno, that was a good question about, you know, what's the focus point. So I would answer that question by saying, so if you know me, Christian Business Angels, and you know that I'm interested in how many jobs you can create, that's one of the things that's most interesting to me. In a 1 minute or 2 minute elevator pitch, you might want to say, hey, Dave, I know you're part of Christian Business Angels. I have this business that with an investment of $15,000 could hire 10 additional people in 3 more areas. You would immediately have my attention. And that would then cause me to go, okay, I would like to learn more. So, and again, great question, Otieno. That's why it's so important for you as an entrepreneur to do your homework of knowing who are you talking to. Not every first off, all the investors want to know, how am I going to get my money back? So you ought to always have that one in your pocket. But what else is important to them? So always tell the investor, this is why you'll get your money back if you invest with me. And then what are the other important things? And for CBA, it's how many jobs are you going to create?
Beautiful. I think that is very clear, because that's why you were saying you gave somebody a short period, they say a story, because they are told stories sell. They start telling the story how they started, but then they did not capture exactly what you wanted to hear and something like that.
Exactly.
Yes, yes. Okay, yeah. Then somebody has asked whether you always come in to also help younger. Somebody says here, with this Andre, that I have an apiary where I do honey harvesting, processing, and sales. It seems it's difficult for some businesses to qualify based on your revenue criteria because of the size of my business. How do you help businesses with smaller revenue, say 300,000 annually? Maybe this is where you are talking about, you also help with ideas and mentoring. Maybe you'll talk about that. And then just to combine with this, because I think time is up, how do you evaluate a community-based organization which helps people directly? Example, I do social enterprise of caregivers of special needs children, but help them directly by marketing their beadwork.
Okay. So I'll do the second one first. A community-based organization has the same opportunity as any other entrepreneur. In our particular case, we are looking for businesses that are profitable and that can generate a certain amount of revenue. So I understand there are lots of good causes. We're looking for how much revenue are you generating? And is there the potential for us to get our money back? And again, because we want to see jobs created, we think that revenue indicates that you're able to pay your people money, their salaries, and that sustains jobs. So we those are the things that we look for. There may be other groups that look for other criteria, but we're looking for enough revenue that you can pay your employees and sustain your business. And if you have smaller amounts of revenue, we're certainly happy to talk to you, but probably point you towards other organizations that could help you get ready to grow, because we need to see you grow. So we know who our customer is. We know the market we're trying to reach is the entrepreneur who's already figured out who his customer is, generating 2 to 3 million in revenue, 3-4 years in business, and they have 3, 4, or 5 employees. That's our market. That's who we serve.
Great. Yeah, there are lots of other questions, but I think due to time, maybe they'll reach out to you using the number provided.
Yes,
I think
yes.
we can, we may need to just move to the next level. Noel, who's giving a vote of thanks. In the meantime, there is an announcement from Live Your Dream about mentorship that was put up there in the chat. Kindly try to interact with it for people who may want to contribute in mentoring other younger entrepreneurs.
Okay, thank you so much. I call upon Professor Dr. Melvin Grimmer to give a vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, David, for that very enlightening talk. And I'm sure you're going to your inbox is going to be full by the time this meeting is over. But my take home from you is that very many businesses require 75% of businesses that actually come to you for assistance actually require business development support before they're ready for funding from you or from commercial banks. And that was my major take home. What I love about you is that you have decided as CBA to concentrate on the lower end of the market, those who have just started, and those who are able to communicate their value proposition, who have identified their target market, and who are profitable. And the most important thing for me is the fact that you're really interested in creating jobs. So you're all about job creation.
Yes, sir.
So we couldn't have had a better speaker today, this morning. And what I'd like to do is as well thank the audience. We had 85 people in the audience at the top of the hour. And I want to thank them for sparing their valuable time to be here today. And I want to thank the organizers, in particular, Antonia, Lady Noel, David, Dan Olale, and the indefatigable Otieno Paul Peter for putting this show together week after week. And on that note, let me hand you back to OPP. Back to you, OPP.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You're always very articulate. Yeah, good to be relating to people like you who know how to speak the language very well. Yeah. Yes, there is another text that was put there in the chat earlier. Jambo, everyone, thanks for joining at Live Your Dream Enterprises. We help you access markets, funding, and skills and knowledge for investor readiness. And there is an email there and a telephone number to reach out to. Basically, Live Your Dream is a business support organization, and therefore all these skills you are able to acquire them through Live Your Dream, and all you need is to reach out, and the website is liveyourdream.co.ke. Now, a few other things. One is we have this every Monday where we discuss different topics between 7:15 and 8:15, and we are always happy to have you join using the same link. Number two, we are going to visit Children's Home for this year. The first one will be on 24th of this month, and that will be on a Saturday in the afternoon. We'll be there from 2:30 p.m. And so check out the WhatsApp group and get the details. We will require your support so that we are able to also reach out to other people and minister to them. We will have some donations of items, and we will also spend time with them, yeah, and mentor the children. Those are children that are reclaimed from the streets. So please take it as another meet and greet, and your donations can go through M-Pesa Paybill, as I've put there in the chat. Finally, Antonia, do you have some other announcement? Antonia, before we close in a minute.
Yeah, thank you for that reminder. Good morning, Power Monday team. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you so much, our guest speaker, David. We are really grateful. Thank you for telling we, the Christians, the truth. It's not always about prayers. We cannot pray all the way to our profits. We have to put in the work. Thank you so much. You're doing a great job, and we are very happy to be associated with you. We will definitely reach out. And thank you, Dr. Melvin, for that summary. Those who came in late, they can be sure they've gotten their portion through your summary as well. And my only announcement is just to remind people about the children's visit, the timing. There are people who have been inquiring about the timing and the number of people, children who are there. I mentioned to them that during school time, we normally have a lot of them, over 50 children. And when the schools are closed, we normally have like 20. And this time they promised to do a very great piece. They went all the way to the nationals, and they will be ready to present to us what they had for the nationals. So please come. It will be another time to be entertained and also get younger with the young people, and also have some plays and some games together with them. So come prepared, and we'll be glad to be hosted by the precious children at Amani Children's Home. And also to
Wait,
that,
you forgot. It's not a man, it's Precious Blood Children's Family, and the numbers are much higher usually. Actually, it's during
okay,
the holidays when they're about 70. Otherwise, they are more than 100. They are quite many, if you
okay.
remember. Mm.
Yeah, one of us was asking so that she can
Mm.
prepare them a cake. So I trust she's in the meeting. If she's not, I'll pass the message. If you're making a cake, it's for more than 70 pupils, but you're not limited to what you can manage. Don't be afraid of the numbers, just do what you can manage. We will see on how to top it up. And thank you for those who are already sending their donations. If you do not have a place to collect them, you can always call me. I'll collect them from your place or from wherever you are. And the timing is from noon, as indicated. And also to thank all those who have given us numbers for our training, which is happening in Homa Bay and Nyamira County. I trust Chairman has announced that. So thank you so much for your referrals. Those who will be in Nyamira, you can get our venue and just come and say hi. Those who are from Pamandi and then Nyamira and Homa Bay, you are welcome to come and say hi to during that time. Will be at those sides. Thank you.